He was a very generous man. He had high morals. He had some faults. He had enough of those. He had a colorful language that he used quite a bit, but he made jokes and made up songs and funny ones about us, and he was just real crazy acting sometimes, and lots of fun. And people will tell you that he'd come and do something for you and not expect anything for it, but if he got something done, he was going to get out that wallet and he was going to pay you. His father died before he was born, and my grandmother had to raise 4 children. Daddy was the baby, by herself on a farm. They didn't go hungry because they had plenty to eat, plenty of animals, and they had everything. She raised even rice. They hunted because that was the food that they needed, the food. And he fished, and he worked on cars. In fact, he was hunting when he tripped over a fence and shot his finger off. So we were always careful with guns. His first job, I believe, was hauling pulpwood, and he worked for the funeral home, which seemed to be interesting to him for a little while, and he was always a mechanic. They met in a boarding house. Daddy was working with pulpwood, and Mother was teaching school. And they didn't have apartments in Mize. They lived with people, and the people rented out their rooms, and they met there. He was the best father, and you couldn't say that I had like a mother and a father. They were a team. They worked together, where one had was not strong, the other picked up the other. They worked together, and there was always laughter, always. But he was always picking with us. We had a good time, and played with us too. During the war, the men were all being drafted. This is the Second World War. I was born in '42, so it's right in the war, and the day that Daddy was supposed to leave, the day before, he came home with a scooter and a bicycle and a tricycle, and he was really sad about having to leave his children to go. And he left, and it just so happened that they needed all the mechanics to stay in the States. And he didn't have to go overseas, but they sent him off to, I believe it was Raleigh, Mississippi, and they stayed over there, all the mechanics did, and they changed the pickup trucks into some sort of army vehicle that they used during the war. So he didn't leave us that far. And we were happy about that, as he was too. Daddy was always picking on us, and my nieces had a swimming party down in our backyard one time. They had all their friends over, and they were down there, and he had told them that he was going to come down there in his red long-handled underwear and go swimming with them. So that, of course, they didn't believe him, but right in the middle of the party, here comes Daddy walking through the bushes in his red long-handled underwear and embarrassed them to death. When I was little, we didn't have television. So every night after supper, we'd just go out into the swing, and we'd swing, and Daddy would sing, and we would sing, and he played a game with us with our thumbs, and he had a little saying that he said, and then he would tell us you know, what do you want me to do with your thumb? You want me to knock it off, blow it off, or kiss it off, or pinch it off? And then we'd do it. And then he would say if we showed our teeth, we'd have to get so many hair pulls and nose pulls and tickles. And anyway, we'd all be laughing, and of course we'd all show our teeth, and we'd get picked on. Daddy was a home person. He didn't want to leave. He stayed around home, and so he had lung cancer, and we knew he was dying, and we had hospice to come in, and all the family was there the day that he died, and it was I don't know how to say this, but it was a beautiful time. We could feel God all around with us, His presence with us, because they were there. The grandchildren were there, the children were there. We were all around his bedside. And at one point, he couldn't talk, but my sister says, "Mama, do you think Daddy knows how much we all love him?" And he came to enough to let us know that he did know how much we all loved him. If I could say something to him now, it wouldn't be saying something to him. I would like to have another time on that swing in the afternoon, just talking to him, listening to him sing, and picking at all of us.